Hello, WikiTree. Good morning, afternoon, evening. How's everybody doing this morning?
Jory. Brian of the island. Is that Brian Baumler? Are you down in the Bahamas sending us a note? Yay! My American friends don't even know who that is.
No. Sorry. We're June here from New Hampshire.
June. I appreciate your presence the other night in my other webinar. That was very nice of you. Yay.
Hello, Chris.
Hey, buongiorno, Chris.
Hola.
Chris posted on Twitter, he posted it in Spanish about our live stream about Latin American project.
Yay.
I thought that was fun.
Go. Oh, Magnus. Yay.
Magnus is here. Benjamin Molesworth. Brian is not Brian Balmer down in the Bahamas. Bienvenidos a todos. Thank you, Chris.
Buenos dias.
PEI, not so tropical, I don't think.
Oh, that's the Canadian island. Well, Brian of the island, you still should know who Brian Baumler is. So.
Who else? So as you guys see, we have Mindy and Karen here. We'll be talking about the Latin America project a little later. We thank them for coming on. We have anybody else here? We have 14 viewers so far. Anything new in the WikiTree world? Probably all are tired of us from last weekend.
Yeah. Did you source-a-thon, Karen?
I didn't. I missed the whole shebang.
Oh, wow.
And I'm so well rested.
Well, all of us, you know.
Mindy, you were. But you were sick too, right? You were.
Yeah.
Yeah, you weren't full steam ahead.
No, I couldn't participate much. That is my favorite thon, though.
She did a lot more than myself and you.
And me.
I'm like the silent sorcerer who just keeps connecting and sourcing as I go.
Just keep moving. Just swimming.
What do? We cite our sources.
June says she's never tired of our laughter and humor. Well, thank you, June. We appreciate that. Sometimes our humor is bad, but
when it's bad, it's good.
I guess that's true.
This is what she's talking about. I'm sorry, don't mean to poke.
No, I'm gonna. I was ignoring that one.
Thank you, June.
I'm sure she means all of us, not just you.
It's really nice though when WikiTreeers show up en masse. Like they had an overflow crowd for my presentation the other night, and I personally think it's because WikiTreeers showed up like June.
That's good. I wish I would have been able to
talk to you, Sarah. She said good bad humor.
Yeah, I know. It's good bad humor.
Oh,
yeah, I wish I would have been able to
Benjamin. Benjamin's going down the rabbit hole of being insane. He says he's entering information into our tree for another friend.
Oh, you know, that's like house cleaning. It's so much fun when you're at someone else's house to just tidy up and help do the dishes. But, you know, if you do your own, it's just work.
I agree.
Karen helped find my great uncle that I could never find, which is great.
Oh, right. Sometimes just a fresh set of eyes looking, you know, trying a new search term. But you said you just ran into your grandmother in the census recently.
Yeah, I found her finally. Karen made me think about out of the box about looking for my grandmother, which she apparently had a different name in the 1920 census. And so I found the entire family there. So that was good.
You always got to think out of the box when you're looking for census records sometimes.
Yeah.
They might not be where you think they are.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that with my schedule getting normalized, I will have more time to actually do genealogy work.
Yeah.
I do a lot of WikiTree, but not a lot of genealogy. Which people think is the same, but sometimes it's not.
No. Hey, Sarah.
Yeah.
How about I do question of the week?
Oh, what is the question of the week?
Oh my gosh. It's what unusual deaths have you found in your family? Who suggested that? Whose idea was that? Come on.
Not mine.
No. That was crazy.
But we had a lot of responses. A lot of people.
There were a lot of responses. I'm going to share my screen here. Let me get rid of us. We don't want to see us again. I'll move you out of the way. Question of the week. Share my screen. Moving a bit slow this morning, aren't I? Here we go. So, question of the week. Did we have any unusual? Did you have any unusual deaths? There were 41 answers, 3 pages worth just on WikiTree, and on Facebook. Churning away. On Facebook, there were tons of answers as well. There people, lots of people either were crushed by falling floors, or the floors collapsed and they fell with the floor and died, which surprised me. Road rage. Talking about road rage on they didn't know each other. They had road rage. They passed each other, then passed each other again, shot at the exact same time and killed each other. How weird is that? Okay, so this one just kind of grossed me out. Her grandfather had surgery. Grandmother may have caused my grandfather's death. He had surgery in the 1920s. No antibiotics or anything like that. She got him a brand new toothbrush, and while brushing, he dislodged bacteria from his teeth that he hadn't dislodged before, which got into his system, and along with the surgery, he got sepsis and died. Not fun. Falling off a penny farthing, but I think it was uncommon in those days. Have no idea what that is. No idea. Somebody knows what that is. Tell me.
Oh, what? A penny? A penny what?
That is a bicycle with a giant front wheel.
Okay, thank you. See?
Bikes.
This is why Karen's here.
That's the only reason. There's a reason Karen is in this thing. There were other really wild ones. This is the very last one. Killed with a kale root. She was sleeping in a field outside near Glasgow, and some youths began pelting her with kale roots. One ruptured her bladder, causing internal bleeding. How crazy is that? But there's 3 pages. I'm going to go back to the first page on the actual post in the question of the week for G to G. I was going to say W to W. Karen, what's that?
People say that kale is good for you, but it's dangerous.
No, it must not be. There's a story about an Indian raid not Indian, but a raid early in our history, and there was like a massacre by. If you heard the Native Americans version of the story, I'm sure it would be different. Let's see. Husband's brother slipped getting out of a bathtub and was impaled by a broomstick.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you know. Somebody was struck in the Pacific Express West, struck 5 men today. There were lots of stuff where men were getting hit, or women were getting hit by trains. So that's another big one.
Both ways.
The Lord of Lesbos in 1404 was stung by a scorpion. His cries, and this is another one of those collapsing floors, his cries of panics brought so many servants into his room that the floor collapsed and everybody died. Here is one where somebody committed suicide by drinking hydrochloric acid.
Oh, wow.
There are so many great ones in here. They tried to kill him with a forklift, but the only unusual death was he had a heart attack alone at home, but his friends found him, so that's really sweet. There's so many that I really can't go into all of them. They're unbelievable stories. It's quite morbid. I said to Sarah this morning, we should have done this right before Halloween. And to segue, I wanted to share something else really quick. Let me turn up my volume. Come on, really quick. This is a preview of some of the stuff we might hear about on our Halloween LiveCast, Ghosts in the Tree.
I realized that it wasn't the security guard. It was a much taller man.
So that is the ghost in my tree that was featured on a TV show. So,
what TV show is that?
Celebrity Ghost Stories, I believe.
Oh.
That was Alphonse Desjardins, who was killed in a fire in Parliament in the 1913, I believe. Huge thing. His body was found under the West Tower of Parliament. His uncle was also found with him, who also had the name Alphonse Desjardins. And there's a long history with our Parliament buildings and part of my family, so that's really cool. So we'll talk more about that. So there's lots of really interesting ways that people died in our question of the week. Fun. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing, Mags. I just wanted to make a point to say, like, these stories that you're telling us about your ancestors, they should be included in the biography of the WikiTree profile.
Yes.
All important tidbits. Like, all these questions are kind of prompting you to think about your ancestors and then adding it to the profile, just like the 52 ancestors, and also both the photo and the sharing thing. They're just prompting you to think about different aspects of your ancestors' life that then you can put in the bio. So, like, unfortunate deaths. So, okay. I guess we will talk about our profile, our profiles of the week, because we did the United States Supreme Justices, the U.S. Supreme Justices. So the main one this week was John Jay, who was the first Chief Justice of the U.S. Supreme Court. Also a whole bunch of other stuff. The second governor of New York, the acting United States Secretary of State, sixth president of the Continental Congress. He was a lot of stuff. He was also wrote the Federalist Paper with James Madison, Alexander Hamilton. He was instrumental in charting U.S. foreign policy, serving as ambassador to Spain and France during the American Revolution. And yeah, that's our main guy, John Jay. And fun fact: Jay County, Indiana, is named in his honor. That's kind of all I got about John Jay. How close were you guys? What?
I was just saying that's neat. I have some of my father's first cousins live in Jay County.
Oh, okay. I thought you said me. Like me, I want to say something.
I do want to say something. Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised when, I wonder if folks have done DNA tests and they think about all the people that they wish would test, and then up pops a cousin that you haven't spoken to in years in your match list. So from Jay County, Indiana.
That is pretty cool. They're named after John Jay. So then we had the other justices. One of them we featured, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, since she unfortunately passed away last month. We got her connected to the tree, like think last week we got her connected. I think it's through, I'm not sure how, I think it's through her husband that we connected her, because I don't think we went that far, because she has family in Austria and Ukraine, the Russian Empire, so I guess we had some issues there, but I think it's through her husband that we connected her. So how close, which Supreme Justice were you closest to? There's also Antonin, I'm going to butcher all, Scalia, Louis Brandeis, Abe Fortas, Thurgood Marshall, William Douglas, who was the longest serving, Oliver Wendell Holmes Jr., and Potter Stewart. Which one were you guys closest to?
I have no idea.
I'm gonna go look right now.
It's like all of you guys are muted, so I feel like I'm talking to,
Oh, I'm
like
sorry.
I hear no background noise, so I'm like, wait a second.
It looks
Can
like
you
I-
hear me?
Yes, we can hear. We can hear you, and I left you a note. There's a problem with your mic, Sarah.
There is
Yeah,
muffling noise.
yeah. It's
Let me change it to, let me change it to my laptop mic instead.
June, are you folks hearing me fine?
Yep.
Yeah.
Great. June is asking how to check the relationship. If you just go to your profile on WikiTree, maybe Sarah will show us someone's, and then you scroll to the bottom of the page, I can see that I am 18 degrees from John Jay, and 17 from Oliver Holmes. And the farthest one is Ruth Ginsburg, and that's what draws my attention, because my favorite thing to do with the profiles is to look for shortcuts. So each week I like to look at the member of the week and maybe some of the profiles and trace the path between myself and that person. So like say I have 37 between Ruth Ginsburg and I, because I don't have any Jewish heritage, and that's who I see in my path. And so then I'll just look for a shortcut, or I'll look at each link in the chain and see if there might be a questionable link that I need to start a thread on and get it disconnected if it looks wrong or undocumented and incorrect. And it's just fun to see. Like I'll see this weekend if I can find a way to get closer to Ruth Justice Ginsburg than 37 degrees, because she might appreciate my current knitting project. I never did make one of those great pink hats 4 years ago, but this one is the classic pink hat, and it's gonna say she persists.
Yes. And Karen makes this hat. She lost one at Roots Tech several years ago. So I hope whoever found that hat is enjoying it.
I do too.
My closest one was Oliver Holmes.
Mine too.
Mine was, I'll share it. Mine was John Jay.
Really? Yours was closest with John Jay?
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
my second closest.
He's
wow.
Elijah Welburn, who is, I share this great-great-great-grandfather with Barack Obama. So Barack is also related to John Jay through this, not bloodline, but close.
I have a 4-way tie: John Jay, Oliver Holmes, Potter Stewart, and William Douglas, all 21 degrees away from me. By the way, does my mic sound better now? I changed the output.
Something is still wrong with that. Are the headphones cut off that are in your ear?
So now I changed the mic to come from my computer, and I'm just listening with my headphones.
Okay.
Maybe she's next to a large saltwater aquarium or
Maybe.
Washington.
Let's keep on keeping on.
Keep on. Oh, you changed. Oh, I didn't know you changed who was screen sharing, Mags. You took over.
How did I do that? I did not.
I don't know.
Apologies.
That's okay. I
There we
forgive you. Because I was going to show.
Please do.
There's just a little, like, if you want to just click matches on the top of your profile to take you down to your matches here. Ta-da!
Oh, that's a cool shortcut.
Mhm.
I learned something new this morning.
We always learn something new every day. Oh, it could also be my Wi-Fi is weird. That could also be part of the problem. Okay, so let's look at the photos now. My favorite thing. We have 24 photos to look at. How exciting! So this week's theme was siblings. And just remember that the photo of the week that's featured each week is taken from the previous week's usually theme photo 52 photos. So that kind of gives you some inspiration, motivation to share your photos with us. So this is the Reeves children holding a snake.
It's a big snake.
And look, everybody is tagged. That's also what I like to see. People tagged in photos.
Yes. Don't we wish our grandparents had done that with their photos?
Yeah. Just tag them. Look at this. Look at these siblings.
That is, what did they colorize that?
And it looks like their cheeks. Something happened with their cheeks, right?
Yeah.
Looks. Oh, it's
She
cute.
has no matches, so we need to get her connected to the tree. Maybe that's this morning's project, huh?
Who are we connecting to the tree?
June. June
Oh.
Stearns Butka, who's
Yeah.
apologies, June, if I mangled that.
Oh, we need to get on that. That'll be a team effort. So we have the Raymer kids. Oh, it's a cute photo. I like that one.
That could almost be a picture of my brother and sister and I fishing with my grandfather.
It would almost work. I'm like, well, it's in Canada, but then you weren't in Canada when you were young.
No. Have to be Lawrence County, South Carolina.
Oh, that's a cute one. Look at the little smiles.
That is cute.
Oh, that's great. I was wrong about June. She's connected to the tree.
Oh.
She just doesn't have that matches shortcut. But I can see she's closest to John Jay and then Oliver Holmes.
Yay.
Some sisters. Oh, that's a cute one.
Oh, that's almost one of those bicycles. What was it called?
This is just the penny bike.
Yeah, penny, whatever.
Is this more of a tricycle?
Farthing. Isn't a farthing and a penny are both coins, right?
Yeah. I'm looking that up.
That's with the, like the 6 to 10 foot tall front wheel, the really big ones.
Penny farthing is also known as a high wheeler. There you go.
There's a lot of children.
That is a lot of children.
Well, it looks like, I guess this look like the grandparents, and then maybe two of the children, and then grandkids.
How'd you like to be quarantined with all those kids with school not open? Yeah.
No thanks. Okay, next page. Oh, look, doggy.
A doggy that looks like he wants to go lick that baby, and they're keeping him from it.
And the baby's like, oh no.
No, the baby's like, let me mom. Kiss me.
You kissed me.
Kiss me, you puppy.
Oh, this house. I don't know what the story behind this is for siblings. Let's see if there's maybe this is where some siblings lived.
Well, yeah. Can you imagine having 3 siblings or 5 siblings in a one-room cabin?
The same person also uploaded this photo, so it might be where they lived. That's what I'm assuming. No, it's a different state. I don't know. That's
cute.
They look like they're going to the beach or something. Maybe not. Almost. It looks like sand. They have the Kruger children.
Wow. Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
This picture was taken at someone's funeral in 1939. There should be more people tagged in this photo. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm just gonna move on. This is a nice photo. Got the siblings there.
(1917, 1918). That was.
Mm-hmm. That was it on Canada too, Ontario.
Yep, I recognize the Canadian Expeditionary, CEF.
This is a cute photo. The mom with her 2 kids. Looks like she's about to go to work.
Or church.
That's true too.
Photograph there is at the bottom. Does it say?
Photoshop to make it digital.
Oh, nice. People scanning those. There's lots of fun ways to scan your images. How cute.
I don't know about that baby though. I guess because the baby moved, so it looks like it doesn't have a face. But okay. That's not really that funny, but it's a little bit funny. Oh, in Sweden. Oh, I like that.
That's cute.
What are they holding? Anybody know what they could be holding? Why are you laughing? Why does Mags have my picture there?
Mags.
Where are you, Mags?
Stealing your identity.
I had changed my photo to be that. Oh, I think I understand why. She's logged into the main WikiTree thing, and that's what I'm using. Okay. I like how this has letters. So anybody saying anything fun in the chat? Or not really? I feel like there's nobody there on the other side.
Not a whole lot. Chris said they're holding a stick, those kids that were in the water.
It feels like there was kind of like something, maybe they were fishing or like something with the sand.
Yeah, it's a little short for pogo stick on their winter handles, which, you know, could have led to one of our unusual deaths in the family.
That's true. Okay, that's what's the end of the photos. Mags had left. What did you get, Mags? Did you get like M&Ms? How did I guess right? That was M&Ms. Okay, so that was the end of the photos. Yes, Karen is muted intentionally.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you never know when one of Ivy, the puppy's favorite dogs, are going to walk down the street. So she is watching out the window, and when she sees one of them, she will bark uncontrollably and run through the house to try to get let outside to see her friend.
So that's why she's muted.
Right. She's just ever hopeful that that one of her favorite dogs will come by.
Well, that was that. Does anybody have anything to add about the photos or the profile of the week or the question of the week or anything before we move on
Right.
to the last?
I think I'm just going to look at Justice Ginsburg's family, and I'll kind of look around that Statue of Liberty time frame, where the records are so rich, and I'll probably add some descendants and look for spouses, and it's fun to see who married the French Canadian, so we can tie in all those Quebecers and get that rich set of records.
And if anybody wants to take on her Ukrainian, Austrian, Russian
someone
ancestors
with more skills than me.
They might have come in through.
They
might have come in through because they live the Russian side. Maybe they came in through Ellis Island because they were in New York.
Oh, interesting.
From Russia. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Something to anybody who's very good with those records can maybe.
And then the newspapers as well. When if you get into Jewish American families from Brooklyn, the Brooklyn Daily Eagle is just a wealth of information about family members. It's just so fun to see how much closer when we were preparing for the global family reunion years ago. I used to tease AJ that every week I was getting closer, and one day I'd be his sister. I haven't quite got there yet, though.
No. I have somebody here in Ottawa or in Ontario that could help you with your Ukrainian search. I've also had a client who was a Jewish Ukrainian import to Canada, and I can tell you what really helped was the church records or the temple records for the family. Wherever they lived, the temple was in walking distance. So if you can find the temple, even if it's not still around, they would have moved the records to the newest temple or the temple closest by. So you can find lots of records there.
Good to know. Good to know. Okay, so now let's get on to the main event, the Latin American project, who Mindy and Karen are the leaders for. They lead Latin America. I don't know. So what is the Latin American project? What is it? What does it do?
Go ahead, Karen.
We're both smiling sweetly, waiting for the other person to speak. Well, the Latin American Project is an umbrella for currently 20 countries. So it's just a vast part of the world that is more than your humble two leaders should ever have the sense to take on. But yet, here we are. And timely, we're finishing up Latin American Heritage Month, which runs in the U.S. from September 15th to October 15th. So somebody explained to me how that is the month that we chose. It does allow us to pick up Mexican Independence Day, and maybe folks in the chat can chime in and tell us why our month starts in the middle of the calendar. And I think it's a project which is just ready for new members and folks to step in and just demand that we move in a certain direction. I would love to hear from members what they would like to see from project leadership and what direction they'd like to go. I always have ideas like, let's connect some writers, let's connect some pioneers, let's connect some activists and strong women from this area. So I do want to hear what folks have to say. There are a few countries that have seen so much interest on WikiTree that they have sub-projects. And right now I know that includes Mexico and Puerto Rico. And one thing I love about researching in these areas is just the amazing amount of information that you get from a record. I was looking for one. I've just got one in long form cursive, which won't be as fun as the ones on the forms. But when you read a child's birth certificate in Puerto Rico, it'll tell you, today appeared the father, usually in the presence of these witnesses, and here's the child who was born, his parents, how old they are, where the parents were born, each of the 4 grandparents, whether they are living or dead, how old they are, what neighborhood they live in, and it's just an amazing amount of info. So it's a really fun part of the world to do research in. And I wish my birth certificate had that. My mother's 2-part maiden name and the name, age, and location, and often the birthplaces of all 4 grandparents.
My mom's side of the family, some of it's from Guatemala, and so I have that where they list all of the grandparents. I'm like, this is great.
They're awesome, yeah. And we've got more and more members coming in that are interested in areas like Brazil. I think we just need to find something, like Karen said, that'll help unite some of them as far as projects they can do, ways they can get involved. Sometimes people on WikiTree aren't aware that, they don't have to be able to read the records to participate and improve the project.
Oh, yes. I mean, how fast do we get answers? When you post a record, if you find it in an index and you wish you could read all of these things, like 2 pages of cursive Spanish written by someone who hopefully knows how to spell, but not necessarily, popping that into a G2G forum post and asking for help, you'll just be amazed how quickly folks are willing to jump in and give them a chance to shine and to use their skills to help someone else.
Yeah, and we just recently did a survey. And for the people that have responded already, we've already got members that are offering to translate for different languages, other members that are offering up resources that I hadn't seen before. So that's really cool, and hopefully we can pull all of these things together so they're more available for people.
Right. Chris reminds us that you get these kinds of records in many Catholic countries, and that's why I'm joining the Daughters of the American Revolution this fall. But I'm not using a Virginia Patriot or a Pennsylvania Patriot. I'm using the French guy from Indiana who never fought, who was made to sign of an oath of allegiance to keep his land. But boy, he was Catholic, and those folks wrote things down. So that's how I'll be using the DAR.
Yeah, they did.
So which would you say you have more, which I guess Latin American sub-project has the most activity right now? Or maybe the one that just you say you got more from Brazil recently, getting more activity in Brazil.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of interest in that, but that kind of incorporates several cultures. You have a lot of the Portuguese also, which the Portuguese project has a number of members, and some of those wound up in Brazil. So the cultures are kind of intermingled.
We have a guest star in the comment feed, our beloved Pip Shepard, who has recently agreed to help co-lead the Puerto Rico project. So I bet we're going to see a lot of positive energy, enthusiasm, and good work on the island. Because I know he's doing some personal research, and I'm excited. We also have Austin on the Mexican project doing great work as well.
So I guess
sorry, Sarah, go ahead.
Oh, I just had since Puerto Rico is also part of the United States too, how does that I guess get categorized or filed under? I guess is it more under? So just that kind of question just popped in my head since it's
right. I think it could go both. I think to me the heritage is very much a Latin American heritage, and certainly we can it can be related to the United States project as well, since of course it's been part of our country for the over 100 years, but I think culturally, it's got the Spanish colonists, the indigenous Taino people and their history. So I feel like it fits in here. But definitely, I also feel like it's not my heritage, so I would like the members who are more closely connected to that community to tell us, okay, we want to sit under this umbrella, or we want to be over here.
Mhm.
You know, I actually joined the project as Patrick Barnum was having to retire, and stepped up largely because I can read a Spanish baptism.
There you go.
And that is my connection to the community.
I was going to ask, I was looking in your project page for a project profile example in your little green box here, and I didn't see one, and I was wondering if you guys had a project profile we could look at.
Right. I was just puttering around looking at folks. And are you sharing now?
I am.
Yeah.
I've got the category page up. I can stop sharing.
Right. Well, okay, sure. I'll give it a go.
I'm stopping.
You know, I don't know that it is a, let's see, screen sharing is easiest with 2 monitors. Whatever. We'll
Just click on somebody.
right. Application window. That sounds good. Here. Boom.
Karen.
Right. So here we have someone who maybe I wouldn't have chosen based on their great cultural contribution, but let's see who we get. Ivy, the dog, says hi. So Luis Raul Estevez is generating a lot of canine excitement this morning. The first Puerto Rican and the first Hispanic man to graduate from West Point.
Yeah.
Founder of the Puerto Rico National Guard. So he was the first of the 1915 class to become an officer. He became an officer before Eisenhower, before Mr. Bradley. I'll have to look and see who that is. And some other of his classmates that have gotten more attention. So I was looking at this, I clicked through to his birthplace, and I'm recognizing my writing style. So you'll see as early as 1910 is the first year that we'll see Puerto Ricans in the 1910 census. So that's, clearly they're formally part of our country at that point. And if we go look at a birth record on Family Search, this is where we start using our Spanish skills. And unfortunately, this one has a lot of bleed through. So that's an Ana, so that's not him. And we probably have the page wrong. So this is a lot of times what we're facing. And this is where having a native speaker is amazing, because I can work out, but just looking at Natural de Estevilla, this is the person who's appearing is born in this place. But just like they just go on, and a lot of this is formulaic text, but telling you exactly when the person is born and to whom and where is just great stuff. And so we've got this person badged as notable. We've got them with here's one of the things I'm working out with Alesh. Back in the day, we used to just put this project box on the profile, but this profile isn't managed by the project, so that will more properly, we'll do this automated, but it'll more properly have a sticker that just says that he was born here. And then if the project feels the need to pick him up and manage him, we'll change it back. And then how does he connect? He doesn't. See, he's not linked to R3. Right. So he needs someone to show him some love. West Point fans of places that would be warmer and more pleasant to spend your winter months in, assuming they're not being battered by hurricanes. Take a look and check out some of the family members. He's got a pretty good tree going on, where if you just start adding some of those cousins in the late 1800s, early 1900s, it won't be long before you'll find somebody who married somebody. Here's Vanderdyce, and Volkers. So Dutch roots come and jump in and see if you can get them connected to all those folks in the Netherlands or in Germany.
Very cool. Very cool.
Can I show you anything else on the profile before we?
I think that's good.
Yeah, Karen, I appreciate you doing that. That was really good.
Mhm. And I can, from what you have talked about, I can kind of see kind of what some of your goals are for the project. You know, getting more people who are from those countries involved in the project, getting more attention to the project. You know, more notables. Do you guys have any other goals that you're currently working towards, or anything, an achievement in the recent achievement?
Right.
Well, one of the things we'd like to do is start reaching out to historical societies and, gather that information as a possible resource for our members.
Okay.
Go ahead, Max.
I was going to say that I've really enjoyed working with Patrick in the past, and with looking at some of these great early records. You mentioned the original settlers of the Caribbean, the
Taino.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I'm saying it correctly in Puerto Rico.
And there are people who still claim direct descendancy of those folks, even though the historical record says that they were completely wiped out.
Mm-hmm.
I think that when people say that about Aboriginal groups, even from South Carolina, the Kiowa being one of those groups that was supposedly wiped out, I think you would find their genes in other groups. So I think that's really cool.
And I know I've seen Peter Roberts ask in the past, like, do we have members with roots in Latin America who, tie into the Euro Aristocrats project, which you do, when you're, because so often you're a mix. Like, I'm a mix of folks from the Midwest and the Smokies. Many of our members in the Puerto Rican project are going to be a mix of European, African, Indigenous American, and it's fascinating to look at our maternal lines and see where they can come from, and where that those communities that academia tells us are gone, and then our members tell us, no, I'm sitting right here. I'm right here.
Yep.
Yeah, my family that's in Guatemala, it was a combination of people from Italy and Spain that settled there, and then they eventually came, here. But he ended up marrying my grandmother, who's from Pennsylvania, Dutch. So it's a fun mix.
Yeah, and so often, and I think what we need is just a boost and some focus. And we have folks who pop in and they're like, hey, what's going on in this project? And when you see like, oh, not enough, then you kind of like wander off and say, oh, well, maybe this isn't for me. And I think it's time to just have an injection of energy,
Mm-hmm.
And to help guide folks. We've seen such tremendous work on folks revitalizing and energizing our projects.
But it also has to do with each and every one of us getting involved. I have people who ask me about some of the smaller projects that I run. And I'm like, oh, that's great. Jump in. Let's get this done. And they're like, oh, well, I don't know if I can do it. I'm like, well, yeah, you can.
Let's even do it. As simple as, thinking about, we're sitting in Hispanic Heritage Time, and then in October, soon folks start looking at, you look at holidays or days that are declared, months that are declared a celebration of a certain community. And, I'm sitting here thinking about, well, what about my first cousin once removed and her children who are half Mexican American, and is she interested in family history? And can I say, hey, I know a lot about doing this and putting together my research skills with your mother-in-law's language skills. What discoveries could we make together?
Yeah.
And what does genealogy mean to you? What does history mean to you? And how does it become something that we're doing together in a way that serves you? And if you're thinking of it as a bunch of middle-aged white ladies sitting around talking about how they descend from the Mayflower.
Speak of yourself. Speak
Yeah.
of yourself.
Right. How can I love our connection finder and the way it says, hey, this cousin of mine from Puerto Rico is 36 degrees removed from Justice Ginsburg, is 25 degrees from this American, and how that draws in our connection to history in a unique way. And by adding the marriages and the other family ties, it just tightens our binds that, draws us from diverse backgrounds into one big global tree.
Yeah, Benjamin Allsworth has a comment in here. I'm going to post it, where he talks about the difficulties of tracing from the USA to South America, then earlier to Europe, or earlier to Aboriginal groups. So many steps, and at least in Australia, it's generally just one step back to
right, and then you're back to Europe. But maybe you could give a rip about Europe. Maybe what you want to do is add your cousins from Chile and the amazing Mapuche heritage that you have, and what you want to see is a descendant tree of your great grandmother and all those cousins. And yeah, maybe you do want to connect to the family tree, and maybe the way to do that is through your Massachusetts or your London second cousin once removed's brother-in-law. But maybe what WikiTree means to you is celebrating your own heritage that has nothing to do with the UK.
Yep. And Pip is also talking about how many records there are in Barcelona for 1858 births.
Yeah, that's a giant city with such an amazing history, and sitting there reading a 2.5-page document of each person, to try to that's why we have to crowdsource it, right? That's why we have to all work on one tree and stop repeating the same research and the same roadblocks over and over. But
there you go. Well spoken.
Get it going together.
For somebody who works for me.
And there is a resource on WikiTree. We did a group, 5 of us last year, and we went through and did some help pages on how to translate Spanish records if you don't speak any Spanish. So it takes you step by step through the important words you need to be able to, recognize, and where you would find like the parents' names and the grandparents' names. This really is a lot of work, but it was a lot of fun.
And and it's achievable. Don't think, I know, particularly as Americans, we are famous for speaking only one language, so many of us, and having no competency in other languages. But it is not hard to look and learn that hijo legítimo means legitimate child of, that hijo natural child of. This is a child that came out of this person's body, and what the rest of the story is, we might not know. It doesn't take a lot of time to get some base vocabulary particularly in a language, in a Romance language where you're going to recognize so many of those words as an English speaker. Pity the Ukrainian Jewish cousins who are having to read cursive Russian. It's something we can do. If you grew up in Indiana public schools like me, you can figure this out, and you can get some help, and you can take it on, and we can take it on together.
Maybe you won't be fluent, but you'll be able to get your way through.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I have a little project that deals with French, and I have there are lots of alt codes that you can use to add the accents to the French language. And so on the little project page for the Montbéliard immigrants, I've got where you can find the information on which alt codes for each one of those accents. So even stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So that the language is actually correct on the profile.
Right. And then we could all fight about at what time period the accents should be on or not on.
Oh, don't do that. Don't even go there. You're a
Don't make it
troublemaker.
difficult.
Don't be a troublemaker.
Yeah, let's focus on things that draw us together and just, get the information in there, and somebody can come around behind and improve it. But
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
It's
Can
a
I
team
show our
effort.
Can I show our Trello board before we wrap up?
Please
Yes.
do.
oh my word, here it comes.
It's
She's been on the
colorful.
show this since 10 o'clock.
So if you don't know, Trello is a website, also an app where you can organize different information. And
It's gonna look like work. It's gonna start looking like Agile Central or Jira really
Oh, I
fast.
want it to give me the.
I know a lot of projects use Trello to kind of organize themselves.
Great. I'm so
Oh no, it's
Why
so
is it? Can you see it, or is it showing all
yes,
of
we
them?
can see it. We can see it. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is what we've started, and as you can see, we've got each actually of the countries. Originally, I thought about trying to organize it by all the historical societies together, but this makes more sense to do it this way. So you can go to Mexico, we can list any sub projects that are on there, suggestions, which members are in there, historical societies that we've contacted, and then resources. And go through and list, so people can go in and pick several different countries if they want, but they can also go in and just see what other people are doing.
Yeah, I'm excited to start reaching out to some of the genealogy societies. I know in Puerto Rico, the Brooklyn Historical Society has done some great work with oral history interviews of the Boricua community or the New Yorkers, as Puerto Ricans from New York will call themselves sometimes. And there's these amazing oral interviews of folks, and I want to go listen to some of those and then connect them to the tree.
I would check out stuff from South Florida as well, since
Yeah.
South Florida has so many different Latin American people from different countries. I know
That sounds amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Chris has a question about Trello, wanting to use it. It is not hard to learn. It is not a big learning curve. It's pretty easy, pretty simple. You just start adding those different projects, and you just kind of set it up, and then you can assign a task to a person in the project, or they can assign it to themselves and take it on. So it's really easy, Chris.
Right. And then you can go, like, if you're in a sub project, you can put, the 5 people that are on the sub project or doing a project together, and then it'll notify you if one of those other people go in and change something on it.
Right.
I mean, it really is. Trello and WikiTree collaboration go hand in hand. It's an awesome way to work together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I love that there's so many ways we can work, and that we pull in outside tools or someone codes something up for us.
Well, Chris,
the wonders of WikiTree.
I'd happy to help you out with that, Chris. So shout.
Or you can just, ask any of us for help. Okay, so did anybody have any questions for Mindy or Karen before we head out about the Latin American project? Oh, look, June posted a link for webinars for Trello.
Thank you, June.
Mm-hmm.
And if something doesn't work for you, I would say, push your leaders to find another way that you can help out, or to make sure that these tools are accessible to all of us.
Yeah.
I'm too afraid to get on a plane and fly to Latin America, but we're a Delta hub here in Salt Lake City, so I had to make my own Biscoff cookies.
Oh, how fun. Fun. Well, and I just want to say happy Thanksgiving to all of our Canadian viewers and watchers. And we're going to be having turkey and pumpkin pie.
What is this nonsense
Do it.
of that?
It's the best. Don't overspice it, I say. Just dial it down, don't.
You know what? In our
overdo it.
house, if it comes with lots of whipped cream, it's good.
It can be just a vehicle to pile on more whipped cream.
We cream. I think that my kids do that. They actually take off with a can and bring it back empty. So
Ha.
I think we have a problem. We have a
Right, that's because they're huffing the nitrous when they're done.
no, stop that, Karen. So happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Gosh, Mindy and Karen, what a great presentation. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for coming on. We
Yay.
appreciate if anybody has any ideas ever about what we can talk about on our live casts, or if you want to come on and talk about something specific that you've done, maybe you've had a cool breakthrough in an ancestor, or I don't know, anything. We're always up for ideas. So please get in touch with me, or if you feel more comfortable talking to Mags, you can reach out to Mags.
Yeah, maybe.
So just, but thank you for watching. We always love seeing you guys every weekend. And I guess we will see you next week. Next week, we have something else fun planned, so watch out for that.